Hello and welcome to 4 Teachers. This is part 2 of our Class Dojo series. We're going to be looking at super hacks, things that you might have been using Class Dojo for a very long time, but now it's time has come that you really want to take it to the next level and you really want to see a few things that you can do to really maximize potential with it and to make sure that you retain it as a positive reward system. So last video I really stressed the point that I really wanted to make sure that Class Dojo is completely a positive reward system. You never take points and you never subtract points. So stick around, I'm going to show you how I still do that and still maintain it as a behavior reward system, and we're going to look at that today. Okay, so point number 1 is really to make sure that you are maintaining it as a positive reward system, and don't worry about giving out hundreds, thousands, as many points as you can. It is a digital system, it costs you nothing to give one of these tokens, and it means such a lot to those children that get them. Rank up your bonus scores. You can look in the previous video to see how to do that. You can change the point value from 1 through to 5. If you give something 5 points, make sure that it's something you really want to focus on in your classroom. It might be lining up, it might be tidying up, it might be leaving those glue lids on. Making sure that whatever you say is going to have a really big impact with your children. Tip number 2 is to change your point values often. If lining up has always been worth 5 points and your kids are the best at lining up in the whole school, why are you still making that a 5-point challenge? Whatever it is that you find personally irritating about your children, whatever you find gets you down, whatever you go into the staff room and moan and complain about, that needs to be your 5-point total. That's the thing that you're going to work on with your children, and that's how you turn Class Dojo from just a points machine into a real behavior management tool. So, for instance, if you think that your kids are great at lining up now, but they are so noisy when they are tidying up or getting changed for PE, you can set a timer on your Class Dojo, you could set it as a 5-point reward system, and you could say that that is worth the most. If you can get changed in silence, and if you can do it within 3 minutes, then that's going to be something that your children are going to love to make a challenge. They're going to really focus on it, and they're really going to go for those 5 points. Of course, you can reward points for people who've almost achieved or achieving as best as they can, but you really want to focus on those who are making that target. Very quickly children will see that's an easy thing that I can do to earn some reward points, and it's something that they're going to really take on board. And you need to focus on making sure that the children are aware of choices and consequences, making sure that they know if they've made the right choice they're going to get a positive reward and a great consequence. Consequences don't always have to a negative connotation. For point number 3, a lot of teachers use reward charts. They use them in conjunction with Class Dojo. So it might be if the whole class gets 1,000 points, then we're going to have extra golden time, we're going to have extra break time, or you can have lunch with a teacher. Have a look. Do a quick search, they might work for you. A lot of these reward charts work really well. You've got to make sure that there is something tangible at the end of this. If your children are always collecting digital points, you really want to make sure that they're aware that these have value, that you are making sure that they're celebrated, making sure that people are aware of how many points they've got. Are you telling parents who's in the lead on Class Dojo? Are you telling the head teacher who's doing great on Class Dojo? Really shout about it and make it something tangible. So reward charts, and you really do need to keep adapting it if you're going to make it successful. Tip number 4, I've already spoken in my previous video about how to change people's avatars, how to adapt them, but really to get next level hack, you're really going to have to go further than just changing the colour and changing the style of the monster. Now, when you go to Class Dojo, originally there are 2 sets of monsters. If you go to edit, you'll be able to see that you can see monsters and you can see critters. Critters are the little pink ones, round, they're really cute, but that's kind of where it ends from the default ones. Now you can change avatars and you can go to Google, you can upload an avatar, and I'm going to show you quickly how to do that now. In the Google search bar, try and type in the character that you want, and instead of searching just for a plain image, type in PNG. That's going to give you an image which has a white background. It makes it much more clearer when you resize it. You can resize it into a smaller or large size, and it should retain its definition. Once you've done that, click on the child that you want to edit, go to Settings, Edit Class, and flick through. You want to go to Create New Sets, give it a name, and create a new folder so you can upload all of the monsters that you've collected and the new avatars, put them into one new folder. Once you've done that, it's just a matter of clicking on the avatar that you want and changing it on each child. Okay, so uploading an avatar works really well, but there are a few quick hacks that you can do to make it even better. Now, what I normally do is I say that children can change their avatar after they reach a certain level. What I did this year was even better, next level hack. All of my groups, all of my mascots for the start in table groups were Pokemon starters. We had red Magikarp, we had Charmander orange, we had Squirtle green, maybe Squirtle blue, we had Bulbasaur green, we had Mew pink, and what happened was each of those tables, as they got more points, if they got 100, then they were able to level up, and it looked like this. So they leveled up to the next level Pokemon. Now, not all of these Pokemon had 3 evolutions, so we had to max them out a little bit and change things around a little bit, but then we went to level 3 if you got 250 points. And children really loved that. There was some progression. They thought that they were evolving their monsters, they were helping them. And what's great is when you looked at it as a team level, you could see who in your team was helping your team, you could see who in your team wasn't quite pulling the weight, and you could see who was doing really well as a whole class. Another one that I done really recently that I'm still using now is to use minions. You can give everyone the same minion, you could give everybody a different minion completely, and you can upload those really simply. Now, one of the key things when you are uploading an avatar is to use a PNG file. If you use a PNG file, it makes it so much simpler. It normally gives them a white background. It makes it so that you can resize that image from a big image and to a small image, and it'll still keep its quality. So you really want an image that's going to pop on Class Dojo. A lot of children like to choose something that's so busy, and when you get it, it looks so tiny. And it's so miserable to see that that little picture is their favourite character on TV, but you've not got a great image of it. So use a PNG file. Just search Google PNG. So it could be Pikachu PNG or a Minion PNG. Now, the Minion chart that I used this time was amazing. I really loved it because on the Minion chart we used the purple Minion. Now, the purple Minion, if you've ever seen Despicable Me, you'll know is a crazy Minion. But we used it in our class as the points chaser. If you had the purple minion, you've got the most points in the class, and that's amazing. So it's really visual. Whoever walks into your room can say, wow, you're in the lead, amazing. What are you going to do to keep up with this person? And it's really nice. You do have to be on it a little bit and make sure that you're willing to change it. I'm often in the middle of a maths lesson. I've just given out 5 points for somebody who's put the glue lids back on, and then suddenly I've got a bombardment of hands going, sir, someone else is in the lead now. You need to change the purple minion right now. And for them, it's the most vital thing that you do it at that moment. So be prepared. They're going to ask you to keep changing their minions. Set some boundaries. Maybe every 100 you're going to change it. Maybe it's going to be whoever's in the lead gets to change it. Okay, but you're going to have to set some boundaries unless you're going to be changing avatars every 5 minutes. Okay, so moving on. And final tip. Tip number 5 is building from the previous video, where the killer tip was that you should never take points away from Class Dojo. Keep it as a completely positive reward system. Now, what we are going to do is I'm going to show you my tip and my hack for how I still manage this as a behavior management tool, but I don't take away points ever. Now, it's all in the blue tick. The best thing about Class Dojo is that you can click select all and you can give a potential point. Now, this blue tick is what I call the potential point, and the potential point is where all of your behavior management happens. Okay, if you say, class, I'd like to tidy up in 2 minutes and I would like it in silence, and I'm going to give everybody a potential point on, that blue tick means the world. Those people who are really making the right choice and expecting a positive consequence are going to tidy up that classroom and get that blue tick turned into a green +1 point, or +5 points if you're that way inclined. If children make the wrong choice, that blue tick is going to get taken off, and then they won't get that point that time. You don't have to make it verbal. You don't want to make it a big deal. You don't want to raise that child's name in front of others and say you've not achieved this. You don't want to use your teacher voice for something that is so small about tidying in silence. Simply reaffirm the positives. Well done. You have got your points. You did so well. I guarantee next time that you ask children to tie up in silence in 2 minutes, it will be an improvement. Children want these rewards. Now, there are lots of other things that Class Dojo can do. It can inform parents. You can use it as an e-journal. You can use it for lots of different things you can do. All of these things are great and they all work really, really well. But don't forget, it is a behavior management tool. If someone's coming to watch your lesson, they want to see that you're using it well and they want to observe that you are positive, that you're maintaining that positive atmosphere in class. First of all, the killer tip was never take away points. And today, the hack tip is use the blue potential point. It's a life changer. We are for teachers. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We're going to do a few more on Class Dojo. Hit us up in the comments if you've got anything that you'd like us to review or analyze, and we'll try and get back to you. Don't forget to subscribe. It means a lot to us if you do. We are for teachers. Thank you very much. Goodbye.